Jam with Sam. Jam with Sam.
I'm sure you must have been, you got some tips from what Shrikant Chari said. There's so many things that I learned today. Yes. And that way, we are going to learn something more now from our next guest here, who's going to be coming to meet all of you and tell us his story. And he, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Agnelorajesh Athaide. Please give him a big hand.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
I hope you've been enjoying the session.
It's a good concept.
Yeah, it's a good concept. Enjoyed that. So let's shoot straight. Tell us something about your family, Rajesh. I know that you're a very family man.
Well, my wife, her name is Shugra. It's a very rare name. And she is also a director in my company.
Okay.
She's a finance director. I've got 2 kids, a daughter and a son. My daughter's name is Sasha. She is of 10 years age. My son is 8 years. His name is Aryan Jay. So both are schooling.
Okay.
And my wife is with me in business.
Great. And tell us something. You must be going through a lot of stress in business, setting up the business. How do you relax?
Not stress exactly, but then I love to meet people. I'm more into relationship building activity all the time. So I don't miss any moment to create new friendships. So I love to watch movies. I love to travel. I travel a lot, and I've got plenty of friends all across the city, all across the world. So that is a de-stressor for me. So for me, if I just feel like cheering up myself, I'll call up a few friends, talk to them, and that's it.
That's it. Great. If not this, what would you have been, Rajesh?
I would have either been a journalist or I would have been a lawyer.
Why journalist and lawyer? Any?
Law is something which I love. So I have connected a lot of my business to that knowledge. So it is challenging intelligence all the time of the opponent.
Okay.
I would have loved to do that. And journalism, because I love to read a lot. I like to listen to people's opinions. I like to cross-question the way you're doing it now. So I would have loved to become a journalist.
Yeah. How do you balance between work, family, friends? I keep seeing your Facebook updates. You're in US, then suddenly you're here. Then how do you manage to balance work and family?
I live a very structured life. It's a well-planned day. So it's in a particular format. Like till 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't meet anybody. So till 12 o'clock from morning till 12 o'clock, it's always SMS, emails and outbound calls if I want to speak to somebody.
Okay.
From 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I try to meet people where I have meetings where people come to meet me. After 7 p.m., I travel if I have to meet somebody, and it's socializing. And Saturdays and Sundays is mostly family time. And we travel a lot with the family also. So that's again family time. But Sundays is mostly family time with kids. So that's how it's all balanced.
So you generally go out somewhere, or you travel with the kids somewhere
We
out?
go out for movies or dinner or some fun places for the kids. It's mostly kids time. And that's how I balance it.
Okay. What's your advice to entrepreneurs over here? There are a lot of entrepreneurs over here. What's a word of advice from a serious big entrepreneur like you?
Well, I do multiple businesses. I can't handle the monotony of doing one business. So I'm doing a lot of businesses. The previous gentleman, Shrikant, had a very interesting format of his business where his business is totally technology driven. I love to share knowledge what I've gained from hardcore business experience for the last 20 years. I've been working right from my school days when I was in my 8th standard. My God. So more than money, it's experience that I've earned, and that's what I keep sharing. So I always like to tell people that collaborative working is the next way forward. Instead of hiring a lot of employees, hire as much technology as possible. Exactly what Shrikant has done. It's a fabulous way of doing business. Collaborate, hire technology rather than hiring a lot of people. So that's an advice. Secondly, don't raise money as far as possible. As far as possible, don't raise money. Once you raise money, you become very, very responsible. But you need to raise money, and the time you raise money, raise it as much as possible.
Okay.
A lot of times, entrepreneurs get investors at a very early stage, and that kills the business. Most of the times it has killed the business. You get sold very cheap.
Yeah.
So if you want to raise money, raise it as late as possible, and whenever you are raising it, raise it as much as possible. Okay. So that's one piece of advice, because in these days, if you just create a brand, people start chasing you for investing in your business model. Probably you are not ready to handle that kind of money and that kind of growth. So at a very premature stage, you get flooded with unwanted money, and then you goof it up, and then you exit from that particular industry. So 75% of the people who are funded young die young. So that's one strong advice. And secondly is, every business today is nothing but a relationship management game. So you, of course, I think 80% of the crowd over here is BNI people. I myself have been in BNI for a year, almost 4-5 years back. The best thing to happen to this country is BNI. It really helps you to become a better entrepreneur. But what I would like to suggest is, each one of us need to invest in as many relationships as possible and cultivate those relationships. It is not only exchange of cards and one-to-ones and attending seminars together, but cultivate it. And the true character of an individual will be displayed when you are having a transaction with that individual. So the true character is displayed at that time. When you have relationships, the right relationships in your life, no situation is stressful, no situation is a hurdle. There are people who are there to solve your situations. You need to know the right people and cultivate that relationships. Honesty is no more a choice, it's a compulsion. So you need to be honest, you need to be truthful, you need to do justice to the relationship that you have built, and you need to keep on performing. And only then you become a testimonial for other people who know you. Okay. And that testimonial works like magic. So I giving my testimonial will be looking like a marketing piece, but if somebody else is giving my testimonial, it becomes a true testimonial. So invest into a lot of relationships. As entrepreneurs, like the gentleman just told me, that people as entrepreneurs work in their business. So right from my young days, I've always worked on my business, and that's how we have grown.
How do you market or spread your ideas to expand your business?
Well, I've been into retail business. St.Angelo's computer education has been always connected to masses, and for that, जैसा previous gentleman ने कहा, जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. दिखना बहुत जरूरी है. The visibility, credibility, profitability factor is true in every sense, true in every word. So we did a lot of advertising when we didn't have money. We have done a lot of advertising when we didn't have money. Anything standing vertical used to be painted by St.Angelo's.
Yes.
Before us, there was only one other brand who used to paint, but they used to paint only on the railway walls. That was the Juliet brand panties. Other than them, we started advertising big time, where I used to hire a painter, pay him per day charges, buy oil paint, Asian oil paint, because that used to give you the maximum surface. I know the economics in totality since I did it personally, and we used to paint everything that could be standing vertical, and that used to be very cost effective advertising, till BMC realized that this is a illegal activity and they started putting up cases and filing cases. We stopped that, but then we are into advertisements on the television, on the websites, on radio channels, on cable channels. We have not left any media untouched. In fact, advertising is a passion. There is a great gentleman here whose company is more than 100 years old, and I'm sure he understands what I'm saying. But I love advertising, and I'm an advertising consultant to my entire group. Okay. The kind of advertising I've done for my organization, and I've got one philosophy. On every road that I move on, or every city that I go, even if I'm not doing business there of education, but if I'm doing any other business there, I want to see St.Angelo there. Whenever I go on my streets in Bombay, I should see one board of St.Angelo's at least. And we are heavily into putting up stickers behind auto rickshaws also now. So whenever we travel, I like to see that. So either it is on the radio that I'm listening in the car, or the auto rickshaw, or on the BST bus, somewhere or the other, we always try to make ourselves present. Advertising for the retail type of business is mandatory, compulsory. Recently, we have started using a lot of viral marketing and a lot of social media, and that is the number one response giving activity that I have come across in the recent times. for a very nominal spend, the kind of response that you can generate for your business is through social media. So I do a lot of social media now.
How did you come up with the name St.Angelo's?
I'm Agnelorajesh, that's one word. It's a mixed parentage. I'm a mixed parentage child. So my mother is a South Indian, father is a East Indian Christian. And Agnelo is my father's side name and Rajesh is my mother's side name.
Okay.
I was born in the 70s. So when I was born, Rajesh Khanna was a superstar.
Achha.
So my aunties named me after him, that is Rajesh. And I used to jokingly, when I was in my college days, I used to jokingly tell my aunties that thank God it was Rajesh Khanna and not Keshto Mukherjee. I would have been Agnelo Keshto. So Agnelo, my parents were not getting a child after marriage. For 5 years they were childless. So my mother was a staunch religious believer and she used to go to Father Agnel's ashram.
Okay.
And she had prayed over there that if I get a son, I'll name it Agnelo. So that's how the Agnelo happened.
Okay.
Now the same Agnelo also has a Father Agnel ashram which is into technical courses.
Yes.
So when I started my business during the Bombay riots, 1993, I thought that if I put it as Agnelos, I wanted to give it a convent effect because there was a lot of C-Tech, M-Tech, B-Tech, NIIT, lot of tech names which used to confuse people. So I wanted to give the convent effect. So I wanted it something with saint. But I thought if I make it Saint Agnelos and the day we grow up, then probably Father Agnello would take an objection on the name. So I just brought the N before the G.
Okay.
And the St. Agnelos, I made it into St.Angelo's. And that's how St.Angelo's was born. And it was good. In 1993, I took that step, saw into the future. Otherwise, if it would have been St. Agnelo's, for sure, there is a copyright gentleman also over here. And probably he would be fighting a case against me on behalf of Father Agnes. So that's how we did it that time.
Okay, okay. Interesting. I didn't know about this story. Very interesting. So Rajesh, tell me, what is the basic intent of your business? What is the basic intent?
Well, the basic intent is definitely service. My parents were teachers, although my father worked for 30 years in Mahindra & Mahindra, but he was also basically a teacher. So teaching was a passion for me. We come from a very economically challenging situation. The background was very economically challenging. And in 1993, IT education was a luxury.
Yes.
It was not like how once upon a time people used to say, "Beta kya karta hai?" "Beta doctor ban raha hai." "Beta chartered accountant ban raha hai." So in those years it used to be, "Beta kya kar raha hai?" "Beta IT seekh raha hai." So that was a very luxurious item then. I learned computers totally free of cost in my father's friend's office, and then I thought that why not teach people what I have learned. And in 1993, believe me, in the place where I used to live in a very globally famous place called Malvani.
Malvani, yes.
Yeah, that was the Tadipar area of those years, and the best place on planet Earth, the safest place on planet Earth, because even in the middle of the night, if a lady would walk with 5 kgs of gold on her without any man with her, she wouldn't be robbed, because all were dangerous people. Nobody had the guts to rob somebody. So that has been that was my actual college of my life. Very nice place. And those days taught me a lot about business. My intent was to give back. So when I learned IT, I started data processing jobs, and I used to do data processing jobs. And I think only Shrikant is not the person who was hit by the stock market. I was hit in a different way. I used to do data processing for Datamatics, and that used to be Master Gain and Master Plus, the UTI share application forms. This gentleman would be aware about that. That is when in 93-94, another great man hit the stock market, Harshad Mehta. I had risen from 1 computer to 8 computers, and suddenly I had no work. And that is when I thought that why not teach people what I know.
Okay.
So I again went door to door, and I had 75 admissions in the first year. And believe me, those years, even touching a computer, the class of people that I was living amongst, for them, seeing a computer, touching a computer was something great.
Great, yes.
So that is when I thought, let me get into education, let me educate these guys. And those were times where people used to even budget joining a typing class. I started computer education. I always believed in a concept. I am a convent educated guy. I am from St. Thomas High School. I always had the philosophy of life of learn, earn and return. So I wanted to put that into practice, and I realized that what was the pain of the society at that time. The pain of the society was economically challenged people had a major hurdle in their life, that was financial stability to take education. So that was the biggest hurdle. So I started IT education, and we were the first people in the country which started educational loans. In 1993, there was no concept of educational loans for a private course. So I had tied up with the Cooperative Credit Society. That is the innovation of the business that I did at that time, where I used to sanction 1500 rupees loan from a Cooperative Credit Society. The installment used to be as low as 125 rupees a month at a rate of interest of 10%. And the bank used to get a customer, I used to get a student with lump sum payment, and the student used to get an installment facility. So children of rickshaw drivers, cart pullers, vegetable vendors, all their children became educated in IT. We have trained more than 300,000 students till date in the last 20 years. And every place on planet Earth that I have traveled to, I have bumped into a student of mine. This is the only business that I have seen. I am a serial entrepreneur, like I said before, but this is the only business that I have seen where a person जो आपसे उम्र में बड़ा होता है, साइज में भी कभी-कभी बड़ा होता है, पैसे में बहुत बार बड़ा होता है, they pay you money and call you sir. There is no other business like this. Absolutely no other business like this. And because of education, we penetrated into unforeseen territories. Like we train the Bombay Police, Crime Branch, Modus Operandi Bureau, Anti-Corruption Bureau, State Reserve Police Force, CBI, BMC, BST, Mahada. You name the organization, we train them. You name the political party, we train them. We train the BJP, Congress, Shiv Sena, NCP, and now the Manase. So this gives you fantastic access, and for them you are a sir. So these kind of relationships, more than you encashing them, it is very much encash for the entire group of friends. I'm a friends guy. For me, the day starts with a friend, closes with a friend. So it's always this kind of relationships that we have built has definitely benefited my entire friend circle. So that's why now education is no more my business. For the last 10 years, I'm into commercially other beneficial businesses. But education is my passion and I love to give it back. What we did in IT education 20 years back, that we are now trying to do it in management education by launching online MBA programs. Okay. So the idea is to give back. Now giving back, yesterday I attended a seminar where a gentleman spoke very fantastic. What he said is, giving back is I going to my native place and building a school. That is giving backwards. And what is giving forward? Giving forward is if I empower somebody with the power of education which adds value to his life and changes his future, is giving forward. So that is what I believe in doing, and that is what we do. We also send students abroad to study. I have sent more than 8,500 students to Australia, New Zealand, UK and Singapore. I have not only sent rich people's children, they would have gone anyways without me also, but I have been having the luck of sending people who are constables' children, bus drivers' children, conductors' children. So I have sent children of those people, and one boy going abroad for education and coming back not only changes the economics of his own family, but he changes the economics of his whole society and his whole village. So that's what I do. So education today is more of a passion, and I love to empower people with the power of education.
Amazing, amazing. Women entrepreneurs. What is your take on women entrepreneurs in the business?
Women entrepreneurs, I consider that women entrepreneurs are the new pillar which will take India gloriously forward, which was not there, which was absent a few decades back. But now, with the women entrepreneurs coming into the play, I think the entrepreneurship in India is getting a new flavor, because whenever there is a woman entrepreneur, people look at it, at that enterprise from the perspective of transparency, honesty, commitment fulfillments and reliability, all these factors. So women entrepreneurs, the numbers are very minuscule, but the numbers are growing up. And I think for India to become a superpower, like people say that the next 100 years are going to be for the big countries. Big countries is Brazil, Russia, India and China. In that, India is going to play a very crucial role. And for India to play a very crucial role, women entrepreneurs have to come in bigger numbers. And I'm sure that is going to change the fabric of the entrepreneurship in India. And India needs many number of entrepreneurs. I think forums like GNI, forums like Jam with Sam will encourage youngsters to get into business enterprises rather than getting into the job format. And I foresee that the future in India is going to be a lot of people trying to work on their own as self-made professionals or entrepreneurs with small enterprises supporting large enterprises in the format of collaborative working. Yes. So that is what I see, and the women entrepreneurs are definitely going to play a key role in that.
Fantastic. Do you view anybody as a serious competitor?
Well, I can't match the same answer. Though it was nice, but I love competition. Whatever I have learned it from my competition. And I see competition as my strength and not as my weakness. When I used to not have money, I used to wait for the aptechs and the NITs to give full page Times of India ads. And my boys, office boys, would be positioned outside their centers with leaflets. So whatever walk-ins they used to generate, my people used to give the handouts.
Fantastic.
People avoid going into competition zones, but I used to always open up a center where there used to be maximum number of computer institutes, because that used to be the market. And then I used to always, this is one strong statement of my life, that if the competition is bigger than you, then he is not too big to hit, but he is too big to miss. Even with my eyes closed, if I try to hit him, it is going to hit him. And that's what we did. And I had a philosophy in life, I always follow that philosophy in life, that try to be the largest and the best in wherever you operate. So I started from Malad. I wanted to be the biggest in Malad. Then I went from Andheri to Borivali. Then it became the Western Line. Then it became Bombay. And we are proudly one of the oldest and the largest computer institutes in Bombay. And that's what I believed in doing. And then down the line, I realized I grew because of franchising. In 1996-97, I did my first franchisee. But I would like to share some knowledge over here. Never ever try to franchise service industry. Never ever try to do that. I grew with that, but this is what is my advice. And if you are into the product industry, always franchise and grow fast. So these are some advices that I would like to give out of my experience. In service industry, never franchise, because your franchisee will ruin your goodwill and brand name. 9 out of 10 will do that. One will be an outstanding guy who will do the same business better than the principal. Like I used to have franchisees who used to do better business than me, better policies than me, better principles than me. But that is 1 in 10. But the other 9 will pull you down so much that it becomes dangerous. They try to cut corners and ultimately affect on the product line or your value that you give to the customers and those aspects.
Any interesting incident or phase which you would like to share about in your business which happened?
Well, I used to always say to all my friend circle and my friends around me that in life there should never be a situation which can control you. You should always be in a situation to control every situation around you. The only situation that should ever control an entrepreneur is his death. Other than that, never have a situation control you. I love challenges, and if somebody says that this can't be done, I would go out of my way and get it done. So challenges inspire me. They make me work. They keep me on my feet. They keep me alive and kicking, and they keep me very happy. So that's what I've been doing. I used to never be stressful. Like when the bomb blast happened in United States, that is where a very good company called Boston, he was a customer of the advertising gentleman Raman here, and they were doing phenomenally well. And when that bomb blast took place, immediately IT industry went into a lull. And when it went into that lull, people started folding businesses left, right and center. I was no exception because I was also into the IT training zone. So one evening I said nothing to worry. I told my wife, let us make a list of things that we will start selling one by one and we will sustain, but we will not quit the industry. Come what may, we will not quit the industry. Fortunately, we never had to sell even anything and we survived and we grew. So that was the only time when we sat down and decided to do this, but it never happened. What helped me at that time was, in those years, in 2003, 2004, 2005, all the institutes which folded were institutes which were focusing only on one line of activity in IT, and that was programming. Whereas fortunately, we were into programming, we were into hardware and networking, and we were also into graphics, animation and multimedia. Fortunately for us, the programming sector took a hit, but we could depend on the other two sectors and we floated, we survived. And that was a very, very interesting time that I remember. But that also taught me something else. Till then, I was only into IT education. But in that particular year, I thought of diversifying into other activities. And then I diversified. Then I started thinking on the philosophies of not all industries have a tough time or seasons. So if you are into more than one industries, then probably if one industry is going through a bad phase, the other industries can keep you strong. And that helped us a lot. So I went into multiple industries and I distributed my, in investment way, they say you need to distribute your portfolio. I distributed my business models and I kept floating. So then I add the strengths, whatever goes weaker, the stronger one supports it, and so on and so forth. That's how I have been doing this.
Fantastic. Anything you would have done, wish you had done differently as you look back? Anything you wish you had done differently?
No, I work with a lot of planning. So,
okay, so everything is planned.
I would like to do, rather than doing things differently, I love speed. I would like to do things more faster.
Okay.
So not differently, but faster.
Faster. And what is the way forward for your company which you see?
Well, I want to penetrate into every household of India, and that is how I'm going to do it with the help of technology, because there is not any other way possible to penetrate. So we are using a lot of technology to enter into the houses of the country, very cost-effective courses, and giving education through the medium of internet. So we are combining a lot of technology together, a lot of expertise together, creating products from a service. I'm trying to convert education as a service to education as a product. Okay. And trying to penetrate throughout the country. And just 4-5 months back, we have launched an online MBA program. Again, we are going to have a breakthrough in this. We have already done a breakthrough in this, where we are offering a 2-year online MBA program for as low as 44,000 rupees. The objective is that any individual who wants to pursue an MBA but has got financial restrictions to do that still can be able to do that because of players like us. I believe in being the game changer in any industry that I operate. So in education, the game changing in 2003 was the education loans. Today, my game changer is offering education as a product, which many others are doing, but at a cost which will minimize. I don't believe in profits per person in education as an activity. Okay. I believe in profits over volumes. So it becomes a win-win situation. My student wins because he gets affordable pricing and he can achieve his dream of doing an MBA. And I win because I get a volume because of these strategies, and I get larger numbers. I'll share one more small thing which I did in service as a sector. We were the first people probably in the world which started after sales service in the service industry. You generally hear about after sales service in a product industry. When you buy a fridge or a car, it has a 1-year warranty, 2-year warranty, or a 3-year warranty. We were people in 1993, we started with the concept of once you join the organization as a student, lifetime you can practice computers free of cost. You can come to the institute and practice free of cost. Lifetime you can repeat the course that you have joined free of cost. Lifetime you can upgrade whatever you have learned from us at no cost. Wow. These 3 services, that is called as, and these are the 3 services because of which we grew, because entire families, their friends and their friends started joining us because of the value that we were passing on to the student. Unfortunately, only 10% people come back for these services. If 100% people come back, I would have been 10 times bigger. I see an opportunity when the student comes back to me, because when you give him service, after his money is paid and done and over with, he is so overjoyed with you that either he will join another course with you or he will become your marketing banner to the rest of the world, saying that this is the organization that you should join and learn. So giving value for money is something that we started doing when I was a novice in business in 1993.
Fantastic, Rajesh. I think let's give a big hand. It's been a great learning session. Thank you, Rajesh, so much.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed having you here.
This was nice for me as well. Thank you.
And this is for you, Rajesh.
Oh,
this is special Jammin mug. Thank you.
Thanks.
And a small token of appreciation.
Thank you.
You will like it. Thank you so much, Rajesh. Let's give a big hand once again. Okay, we come to the end. Food is there. I think everybody is hungry for food. There is also some red and white wine left over. Yeah, there is leftover. Nomita says yes, it's leftover. And just a word of thanks to our sponsors. We have Rajan Shah from Mod Graphics, who does all the post-production for the event over here. He couldn't be with us here today. I think it wants you near me only. We have Nandu Bende, who has composed the amazing Jam with Sam background music. So anybody looking at creating background music or voiceovers, Nandu's the man to be. He really makes you sound better. And how can I forget Rajan Raman from Dattaram Advertising? He's the guy who has created his brand Jam with Sam with just a simple brief. I said, Rajan, I want to do this, and he did it. And Rajan, a really heartfelt thanks to you for creating all this stuff. He creates amazing newsletters. The newsletters which come to you are all designed by Rajan Raman. And every time he betters himself in giving a better and better newsletter. Thank you so much, Rajan Raman. And we close for the day. We meet again. We will not be meeting next month because it's Diwali and I'm also out of India. We'll be having Jam with Sam in December. I'll connect with you to give you the dates over there. Thank you very much and good evening.